Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome back to another review episode. In this episode, I'm going to be reviewing Criminal Minds. As usual, before we start the video, please subscribe, leave a like, hit the notification bell, and share the video, and a small spoiler warning for those who want to see the show. And now, let's get started with the video. In a world with murderers, serial killers, snipers, arsonists, terrorists, and many more, a unit within the FBI called the Behavioral Analyst Unit is called in to profile and investigate these unsubs with the local before they strike again. The team solves many cases, entering many dangerous scenarios and encountering the sickest people around the US continent. However, as certain cases gets harder to bear for certain team members, the team undergoes many personnel changes. Top 20 episodes. Number 20, Lesson Learned, Season 2, Episode 10. When a DEA raid discovers a potential terrorist plot within the US, Gideon, Reed, and Prentice are sent to Gitmo to interrogate the leader of the terrorist plot, who has remained silent and anonymous towards his capture. As the remaining team teams up with the DEA to figure out what the terrorist was planning, they discover the attack will involve weaponized anthrax, raising the threat level even higher. When the three arrive in Gitmo to interrogate the leader, Gideon decides to try to interrogate the terrorist with respect towards his rights and religion, unlike the CIA, who has been unsuccessful at getting any information from him. As Reed and Prentice behind the scene tries to profile the terrorist movement, they manage to profile and uncover the terrorist's identity. As the team gets closer to the terrorist cell, they're caught in a trap, nearly getting everyone killed. Using the CIA's cooperation at Gitmo and deceiving the terrorist leader into believing that the attack has already happened, the team manages to prevent the attack in time. Number 19, Lucky, Season 3, Episode 8. When a victim with an inverted pentagram with her fingers missing is found, the BAU is called to investigate. The case takes a turn when they learn that the ME discovers 10 fingers inside her stomach. After analyzing the finger, the team learns that the fingers did not belong to the current victim and that there are 10 other victims. Determined to capture the unsub, the team starts to profile the unsub and comes to the conclusion that the unsub was formerly institutionalized as a child. However, they discover the mental institute within the town was burned down many years ago, and the doctor that worked there had died in a fire. Luckily, the team discovered that though the doctor was burned, a file of a disturbing patient survived thanks to the doctor's effort. After tracking him down, they discover the patient and the unsub are one and the same. Though the interrogation at first is slow, after getting the church's father to the interrogation room, he soon discovers that the latest victim he had killed and cannibalized was fed to the search volunteers at the search party. After the case was closed, Garcia's date turns to the worst when she is shot on her front porch. Number 18, A Beautiful Disaster, Season 11, Episode 18. In the aftermath of Savannah getting shot by the person targeting Morgan since his abduction, the team starts to investigate who in the Montello family wants him dead. After crossing off many names from the list, they soon discovered Chaz Montello, father of Giuseppe Montello, who is presumed dead, faked his death to take a revenge for his son's death. As Savannah survives the shooting and goes into surgery, Morgan takes matter into his own hands and goes after Chaz Montello. After locating Montello's house, Morgan soon discovers that Montello has been watching everyone he cares about and gets blindsided. Montello, wanting to take his time for revenge, starts to play Russian roulette with Morgan. As Morgan accepts his fate and tries to say goodbye to Garcia, he outparts Montello, allowing the team to arrest Montello without any resistance. Returning to the hospital, Morgan discovers that Savannah survived and has gone into labor. After a successful labor, Morgan decides to put down his shield and retire as a full-time father. As the team celebrate the birth of his child, the team says goodbye to Morgan, one person at a time. Number 17, The Hunt, Season 10, Episode 23. When Kate's niece and her best friend are kidnapped, the BAU, at first believing that they were targeted by an online predator, tries to locate the two before it's too late. They soon learn that Kate has continued investigating the serial killing case from Bakersfield, that there is a connection between the two cases, and that her niece might have been kidnapped because of an investigation. As the team starts to uncover more victims from this online predator, they conclude that it's a human sex trafficking ring and not a single predator. Meanwhile, Meg, determined to escape from their capture, uses all of the skills she was taught by Kate, allowing her best friend to escape their capture and allowing the team to learn further information on this predator. As the team digs deeper into the operation, they soon learn that it's not a human sex trafficking ring, but a human trafficking ring for serial killers. After locating a potential suspect who used their services, they soon locate the person in charge. However, they are too late as the organization reveals that they have already sold Meg to one of their customers. During the interrogation, JJ manages to get the female accomplice talking, getting the team to rescue Meg and arrest many customers who uses the website. After wrapping up the case, JJ reveals to Reed that she is pregnant, and Kate decides to leave the BAU to raise her unborn child away from the madness of the BAU. Number 16, Profiling 202, Season 12, Episode 9. As Rossi experiences his first birthday after Thomas Yates escaped from prison, his classmate Prentice Stephen gets interrupted when Yates calls Rossi, announcing he has taken another victim. After confirming that Yates has taken another life, he changes his class syllabus and enlists students' help to profile and locate Yates before he kills again. When Rossi gets another phone call from Yates on a new victim, the team soon discovers that Yates is dying from cancer and his victimology might change due to his illness. As the team enters a crossroad, Rossi teaches the students the way many agents try to find their zen to understand the unsub psychology. In the case of Rossi, he cooks his main dish spaghetti carbonara, picturing the unsub as a dinner guest to imagine how the unsub might respond to his question while he's in his most relaxed state. Using his methods, Rossi figures out that Yates will be killing his next victim, someone Rossi will feel personal to. Checking out the places Rossi will feel personal to, he finds Yates in his house garden, and instead of taking him down alive, Rossi shoots him, ending his terror. As he wraps up his class on profiling, he's reminded by Stephen of all the lives he saved by catching the unsubs he caught during his career. Number 15, Green Light, Season 12, Episode 21. After learning that Lindsay Vaughn has been Diana, Reed's mother's caretaker, Reed informs the team that she has been working for Mr. Scratch for the entire time. The team uses all of their resources from other agencies trying to locate Lindsay before she hurts Diana. Meanwhile, Reed's situation gets complicated in prison as Shaw blows his secret of being an FBI agent. As the team dives deeper into Lindsay's aliases, trying to implicate her in the murder Reed has been framed for in Mexico, they soon discover Cassie, Diana's former caretaker, has been killed. As the team starts to reach its breaking point, Garcia, having lost too much faith, tries to resign after learning that Reed has been stabbed in prison. Though the team identifies certain key factors that implicate Lindsay in framing Reed, the team is unable to convince the judge to release him, causing more commotion as Shaw attempts his next move in killing Reed. Luckily, within a nick of time, Garcia finds the definite evidence to get Reed out of prison, saving his life. As the team narrows in on Lindsay's potential location, they soon discover that Cat Adams, a former member of the Dirty Dozen, has been behind Reed's incarceration, not Mr. Scratch. With only one demand, for Cat Adams to speak to Reed, Reed decides to comply with her and returns to prison to confront Cat Adams for framing him and kidnapping his mother. Number 14, Extreme Aggressor, Season 1, Episode 1. After a 6-month leave, Jason Gidding is called back to the BAU to profile and investigate a killer known as the Seattle Strangler. With the unit questioning every move Gideon makes due to his PTSD, the BAU is forced to devise a profile in a small time frame to ensure the Seattle Strangler does not strike again. Though the unit manages to locate the unsub, they soon learn of a co-conspirator in the killing and that the unsub's computer has high amount of security, forcing them to make 2 profiles, one for the current unsub and the other for the second unsub. Using the profile, they unlock the unsub's computer to locate the missing girl and capture the second unsub. Number 13, Zux Wang, Season 8, Episode 12. Reed tries to contact Maeve, however, he learns that she might be kidnapped by her stalker when the payphone call he answers says one word, Zux Wang. With Reed and Maeve not having met one another in person, Reed seeks the help of his team with a little to go on but her stalker's letter and her first name. As the team uncovers more information about Maeve, they soon discover her identity, allowing them to question those who knew her. While questioning those who knew Maeve, Reed meets her ex-fiancé, who he believes is the stalker, after remembering his face at the restaurant he was going to meet Maeve for the first time. Reed soon discovers that it's not his ex-fiancé, but his new fiancé, Diane, who has been jealous of her for a long time. As the team tries to locate where she took Maeve, Reed surrenders himself to Diana, determined to save Maeve. However, Reed's effort to stop Diana from killing Maeve fails as she kills herself, with Maeve causing massive grief over Reed for his failure to save her. Number 12, Entropy, Season 11, Episode 11. Reed goes undercover to capture the most dangerous member of the Dirty Dozen, forcing him to play a psychological thrill game with her. Pretending to be an interested client for the hitwoman dubbed Miss 45, he meets her in a restaurant monitored by his team. However, his cover is blown immediately, forcing the team to play along with the game while Reed gets pointed by a gun. Instead of escaping, Miss 45 decides to play a game with Reed by forcing him to have an honest 30-minute conversation on how the team located the Dirty Dozen. Reed complying to play a psychological game, Reed tells her about how the team manages to gain a breakthrough in identifying the Dirty Dozen members. Starting with how the team located their organization's hacker, codenamed the Snowman, he soon reveals that the team has already taken down 2 of their members, the sniper and the chemist. Their psychological conversation goes sideways when Reed learns that she did not come to the restaurant alone, but with her final partner, the bomber. As she threatens to detonate the bomb, killing everyone in the restaurant, Reed uses his trump card, forcing her to return to his conversation. As the team tries to locate the bomber and the bomb, Reed continues with his story on how he uncovered a real identity before meeting her and exploiting her past as weakness. Profiling those remaining in the restaurant, Morgan and Taylor locate the bomber, forcing Kat to take Reed hostage. This forces Morgan to negotiate with Kat in surrendering herself, ending the terror of the Dirty Dozen. With the organization shut down, Garcia celebrates by getting herself drunk at Morgan's house to share her appreciation. Number 11, Red Light, Season 12, Episode 22. Reed is once again forced to play a psychological thrilling game with Kat Adams to save her mother. While the team tries to locate Diane and her abductor Lindsay, Kat tries to torment Reed's mental state by revealing personal information that only the government can access. Using her taunt as an advantage, the team tries to locate who within the government is trying to help Kat and her partner Lindsay. As the team starts questioning why Lindsay would agree to help Kat in her quest for revenge against Reed, they soon discover that Kat and Lindsay are lovers. As the team exploits the newly found information, the situation gets disturbing when she reveals to Reed that she got pregnant with his sperm. As the team manages to locate the insider helping Kat from the beginning, the team breaches into a complex situation as Lindsay threatens to blow the cabin down. Reed, outplaying Kat's games, manages to talk her into calling Lindsay to surrender, ending the revenge plot that Kat has orchestrated. The reunion between Reed and his mother is cut short when Morgan returns to inform the team that Mr. Scratch might have sent him a text impersonating as Garcia. Using the new information from Morgan, the team moves out to find Mr. Scratch. However, they are caught in an ambush, leaving the fate of the team in questions. Number 10, 300, Season 14, Episode 1. With Reed and Garcia kidnapped by our followers of Benjamin David Merva, the team tries to uncover what Merva and his followers are planning before it's too late. As the team tries to uncover the final messages Reed left the team before being kidnapped, they soon discover that Meadows has used her position in the FBI to hide 299 killings across the country. With this new revelation, the team tries to uncover how Meadows could join the FBI without hitting any red flags when the Bureau first hired her. As Prentice and Rossi dives deeper into their memories, they soon uncover the meaning behind Reed's messages connecting both Merva and Meadows to a previous case from a long time ago. Meanwhile, Merva prepares to kill Reed to complete the prophecy that his former messiah, Benjamin Cyrus, has foretold. By using the preparation as a form of distraction, Reed manages to get Garcia to escape back to the team. Furious about Reed's actions, the Believer relocates to their final location to be reborn, and the team with Garcia's help tries to uncover where the Believer will finish off their prophecy. Digging deeper into the background of Benjamin Cyrus, the team manages to prevent the long-awaited prophecy that the Believers have been waiting for by rescuing Reed and shutting them down for good. Number 9, Omnivore, Season 4, Episode 18. Hochner learns a dark secret when he hears a dying confession from a former Boston detective that he has made a deal with a serial killer called the Boston Reaper during the first investigation. In the aftermath of the detective's death, the Reaper starts his killing spree, forcing the BAU to once again investigate the case. As Hochner tries to recall certain aspects from his first investigation, he reunites with many contacts he made during his first investigation. As the Reaper's killing becomes more frequent, Rossi and Hochner decides to interview the one survivor from the killing, George Follett. The Reaper decides to strike again, but deviates from his MO and shoots a busload of people, causing the team to rethink their profile. With the deal that the former detective made, and now a taunting message that the Reaper sends to the team is ambushed and many are killed, with Morgan left injured. Diving deeper into his past, Hochner soon realizes that George Follett has been the Reaper from the beginning. Knowing that his former contact, Roy Colson, has gone to see Follett, the team manages to save him on time. However, after his arrest, Follett escapes, leaving everyone terrified of his next move. Number 8, To Hell and Back, Part 1, Season 4, Episode 25. When a man crashes into the border of Canada, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police asks the BAU's help to identify if they have captured a serial killer. As the investigation continues, they learn that he's not the unsub taking homeless people from the streets of Detroit, but a vigilante trying to locate his missing sister and the rest of the homeless people who has been abducted. With another victim abducted by the unsub, the unit realizes that the unsub has been traveling into Canada through a secret passage. After locating the passage the unsub uses, they manage to locate the residence of the unsub. However, when they enter the house, they soon discover a quadriplegic man named Mason Turner. Number 7, Hit, Season 7, Episode 23. When the Face Guard, a bank robbery group, gets trapped in a bank when Will and his partner responds, the BAU is called in to negotiate. While profiling the heist crew, they soon realize that the queen within the group is a psychopathic and narcissistic serial killer that does not care for her crewmates or the hostages. With one of the robbery crew shot, the FBI overrules the team's decision not to send a medic inside, and orders them to send a medic inside the bank. However, this turns into a disaster when the medic is unable to save the crewmate, causing him to get shot and killed. As the team tries to find a way to save the rest of the hostages with minimal losses, Prentice's old boss informs her that the female unsub dubbed the Queen is an international terrorist who is notorious for leaving bodies behind. Learning of her background, the team tries to devise a plan when the Queen demands that Will enters the bank before another hostage is killed. Will complies with their demand and is shot in the process. As the team decides to breach inside the bank explodes, leaving questions on who survived. Number 6, Demons, Season 9, Episode 24. In the aftermath of the shooting against Justin Mills at the diner, the team becomes scrambled as Reed's life hangs in the balance after being shot in the neck, and the sheriff shot and killed. The team receives reinforcement from Garcia and Cruz, who comes to the scene to help. After concluding that Mills is not the serial murderer they have been searching for, they uncover a huge case of corruption amongst the deputies in town. The team's only witness to the corruption within the town lies under Diana, the town's madam. However, as the deputies threatens her son, they are unable to get any collaboration from her. After locating Diana's son, the team gets into a shootout with the deputies, including the leader in charge of the corruption deputy, Owen McGregor, at the junkyard. Meanwhile, while Reed recovers, the corrupt deputies are sent to silence Reed, forcing Garcia to make some uncomfortable choices. Though the case ends with the team shutting down the corruption link, Alec decides to resign after confronting her past after Reed gets shot. Number 5, Wheels Up, Season 13, Episode 1. In the aftermath of the team ending up in Mr. Scratch's ambush, Garcia seeks the help of SSA Matthew Sims to see who has survived. When the two arrives at the ambush site, they soon discover most of the team members are injured but survived. However, they discover that Steven has been killed in the crash and that Mr. Scratch has taken Prentice. As the team gets rushed to the hospital, Reed is reinstated to the FBI by Rossi, who cryptically tasked him and Alves to go to his office. After arriving at his office, they soon discover a cabinet full of paper files that Steven has collected on his investigation of Mr. Scratch. Digging deep into these files, Reed discovers the main reason Mr. Scratch was in Honduras, allowing the team to plan for the next move. As the team members in the hospital recover one at a time, they soon learn from Lewis, the last one to wake up, that Prentice has been dosed with Mr. Scratch's cocktail. As Prentice tries to fight the cocktail and the torment from Mr. Scratch, Garcia and Matthew soon discovers Mr. Scratch's mainframe, giving the team the exact location of Mr. Scratch's location. Their final confrontation against Scratch turns into a victory against the team as the team locates and frees Prentice, and Scratch's terror ends with him falling down a 4-story building. Number 4, Mr. Scratch, Season 10, Episode 21. When 3 suspects from 3 different homicides defend their innocent with an identical defense, the BAU starts to believe that an unsub has drugged these victims to hallucinate a similar Black Claw figure that has killed their loved ones. After the team figured out what type of drug the unsub used, this leads them to conclude that the 3 victims lived in the same house for a time during the Believe the Children movement, and that this unsub's life might have been ruined due to their testimony. As the unsub, now dubbed Mr. Scratch, strikes again, Hochner, in a desperate attempt to figure out who the unsub is, puts one of the victims into a trance. At the same time, Mr. Scratch hacks into their mainframe to locate someone within the witness protection list. Reed manages to decipher the origins of the code and soon learns that the unsub is currently employed by the NSA. Once gaining access to the NSA system, the team learns that the unsub's parents' lives were ruined due to the victims and that he's now striking back. Hochner alone tries to rescue the final victim. However, he's too late and watches her commit suicide. The situation worsens when he's drugged by Mr. Scratch's cocktail, forcing him to believe that he has killed his team. Luckily, the team arrives on time and Mr. Scratch is arrested, with Hochner being mentally scarred for life. Number 3, 100, Season 5, Episode 9. After JJ learns that certain prescriptional medication can be substituted for over-the-counter medication, Hochner tasks Garcia and Kevin to investigate which medication Foyet users cannot. After a deep dive, the team locates the identity that Foyet has been using after his last encounter with Hochner. However, they soon discover that Foyet is long gone and has attacked the US Marshal protecting Haley and Jack. Hochner decides to take things into his own hands and goes rogue, trying to save Haley and Jack. However, Foyet gets to them first, and to taunt Hochner further, he allows Hochner to talk to Haley before shooting her and killing her. Desperate to protect his son, Hochner arrives in time to stop Foyet from shooting him, and with his anger, beats Foyet to death. The team discovers the terror Foyet caused after arriving on scene, locating Haley's body, and Hochner reunites with his son as they both comfort each other. Meanwhile, the team gets interviewed one by Aaron Strauss, trying to uncover the full events that led to Haley and Foyet's death. Number 2, To Hell and Back, Part 2, Season 4, Episode 26. After searching the compound of Mason Turner's farm, the BAU locates hundreds of victim shoes with their remains nowhere to be found. After finding the pigs on the farm, Dr. Reed realizes that the unsub has been feeding the remains of the victim to the pigs for disposal. With a horrific sight, the full force of the Ontario police arrives at the farm to assist the BAU in finding evidence and locating the latest missing girl. Rossi starts to get Mason talking, and they soon learn he has a brother who might be the actual unsub. However, contradicting evidence is found when Reed realizes that Lucas Turner, the brother, is autistic. They soon figure out that Mason has been manipulating his brother to abduct and conduct scientific experiments on the victim to find a cure for his quadriplegic. Using the knowledge that Lucas Turner is autistic, Prentice and Morgan locates the victim before it's too late. Mason's terror ends when Hightower puts a round of shotgun to his chest, exacting his revenge for the death of his sister. After Hodgins returns to his apartment from the case, George Foyet pays him a visit, shooting him in anger for not accepting to take the deal. Honorable mentions: Valhalla, Season 6, Episode 17, Profiling 101, Season 7, Episode 22, The Replicator, Season 8, Episode 24, Hashtag, Season 10, Episode 7, Anonymous, Season 10, Episode 12, Hostage, Season 11, Episode 14, Tribute, Season 11, Episode 19, Unforgettable, Season 12, Episode 20, Last Gaps, Season 13, Episode 16, Ex Parte, Season 13, Episode 19, Chameleon, Season 14, Episode 13, Truth or Dare, Season 14, Episode 15, Date Night, Season 15, Episode 6, and in the end, Season 15, Episode 10. Number 1, Lo-Fi, Season 3, Episode 20. The BAU is called into New York when the city faces a random shooting amongst the city. With the NYPD detective fearing this unsub is the next son of Sam, a conflict between the department arises. Meanwhile, further issue arises when SSA Kate Joyner from the New York office questions every action Morgan makes. With more and more random shootings occurring within the city, including on an NYPD detective, they soon learn that there is not a single shooter, but multiple shooters coordinating their attacks and watching the response time of the first responders. The attack at first thought to be a random shooting, now considered by the BAU as a terrorist attack, ends in a cliffhanger as one of the SUVs driven by the team of the BAU gets blown up. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, share the video with your friends, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss future videos. Also follow my Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit page on the link below to have further conversations on the TV shows. And I will see you soon for another review episode.